Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we're now going to do an example proving that triangle OMG is congruent to triangle TMI. So let's get started. We're going to use point evidence analysis. So I already have my P of my PEA. What do I put in for my P? I put in my prove, what I'm trying to prove. So I put triangle OMG is congruent to triangle TMI. That's what I'm trying to prove. My next step is my evidence. I'm trying to prove that triangle OMG is congruent to triangle TMI by side, side, side right now. So I always write my givens first. So I'm going to put OG is congruent to TI because it was given to me right here. I'm going to go ahead and mark my diagram with what I just did. OG is congruent to TI. OG congruent to TI. That gives me one of my congruent sides for my congruent triangles using side, side, side. So I'm going to go ahead and label one of my S's. That gives me one congruent side of my 3. My next given is M is the midpoint of OT and GI. And again, that guy was given to me. What does it mean to be a midpoint? To be a midpoint, it means that M is exactly half of OT. So that would tell me that OM is congruent to TM. Notice how I say OM is congruent to TM so that we keep our angles corresponding. So if OM is congruent to TM, because M is a midpoint, we also know that M is a midpoint of GI. What is congruent here? We know that GM is congruent to IM, right? So let's go ahead and write those down. We said OM is congruent to TM, and this was by definition of midpoint. Okay. We also know that that was one of my sides, so I'm going to put an S here. That was 2 of my 3 sides. My next side that I already identified was GM was congruent to IM by definition of midpoint. So let me write that one down. GM is congruent to IM by definition of midpoint. Great. So that gives me my 3 sides. If I'm proving this by side, 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 I have enough information. I don't need to go any further. I can now wrap up and do my analysis. So A, what would my analysis be? I always put my P first. So triangle OMG is congruent to triangle TMI. And then we say why it's congruent. So by side, 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 triangle congruence theorem. And there you have it. We are done.